For decades, physics has mapped space as an empty, mathematical grid, a blank void where objects sit in a coordinate system. This abstraction effectively strips away the physical mechanics of the universe. This table outlines the constants of a different reality. Focus on the very first entry for the tau symbol. The tau symbol represents the physical substance of the universe, a highly compressible viscoelastic fluid that functions as the global metric of time. In a universe filled by a physical medium, every particle, wave, and force must emerge as a mechanical reaction within that fluid. The outer causal boundary of the universe is currently rushing outward at the speed of light. This relentless expansion pulls the internal fluid into a state of extreme structural tension. This mechanical state, absolute hydrostatic tension, defines what we have traditionally called vacuum energy. Legacy physics often describes this energy as a sea of virtual particles appearing and disappearing. In this model, we are looking at something much more grounded. The latent energy we measure in the vacuum is the literal mechanical work being done to stretch the cosmos like a taut rubber band. Inside this tensioned fluid, energy evaluates as geometric deformation, a measurable displacement of the fluid away from its resting state. Picture a sealed pipe filled with water. Injecting an air bubble forces the surrounding fluid to move out of the way. That displaced volume represents the permanent volumetric strain of the system. Matter functions the same way. When a topological void cavitates in space, it physically pushes the cosmic fluid aside to carve out its own location. Energy, then, is the literal measurement of how much fluid volume had to be physically displaced. Nature resists these voids. The moment a hole opens, the massive hydrostatic tension of the vacuum attempts to crush it back into equilibrium. Maintaining that void requires mechanical work. The table defines V tau as the physical volume of displaced fluid. The topological winding number explains how it stays displaced. A vortex ties a knot around the void, locking the fluid in place. Because the vacuum has a fixed background tension, every cubic centimeter of fluid held open by that knot represents stored work. Einstein's equation E equals mc squared tracks this conservation, linking the energy of a particle to the exact volume of fluid it permanently occupies. Every fundamental particle is a locked knot of strain, and its mass is the volumetric scar it leaves in the metric. While the knot stays locked, the surrounding vacuum never stops pressing inward, trying to fill that topological void. This inward pressure forces the macroscopic fluid to physically flow toward the matter, in a process called advection. As the fluid approaches the void, it undergoes relativistic packing. This rushing fluid compresses, creating a dome of high density called longitudinal strain. This inward flow and the resulting dense packing of the medium create the physical effects we attribute to gravity. A wave of light attempting to travel through this compressed zone encounters a significant change in the medium. Light waves physically slow down when passing through dense packing, a process known as acoustic refraction. Just as light slows when it enters glass, the compressed fluid near a mass creates a literal delay. We experience this lag in the signal as time dilation. What we perceive as time slowing down is the measurable delay of light swimming through a denser fluid. The universe organizes itself through three distinct mechanical states: the tension of the vacuum, the volumetric strain of mass, and longitudinal strain of gravity. Radiation completes the set as a traveling transverse strain, the shock waves of the fluid recoiling and snapping as it communicates energy across the void. The universe operates as a churning, taut clockwork, where every fundamental force follows the deterministic rules of fluid mechanics.